to another MVB Leaders Magazine interview. Today we are delighted to have with us a lady called Connie, who is the President Director of Danone Specialized Nutrition Indonesia, part of the worldwide renowned Danone Group. And Connie has not only just done things in Indonesia which nobody else has done, which she's going to tell us about, but she also really exemplifies the way in which Danone has taken sustainability to heart. And from all the things that I've read and looked at on what Danone SN Indonesia has done, it looks like they have a really important contribution to something which is very important in Indonesia, the whole area of child nutrition. I'm not going to tell you any more about that because that exactly is what Connie and Danone Specialized Nutrition do. Now, there's quite a history of this company. I mean, it looks like a new modern multinational, but actually you look at the history, it goes back way into the past to 1896, in fact, with the Nutritia's first appearance in Indonesia, and 1954 in Jogja for the Sari Husada group. So we're not talking about newly arrived companies, we're talking about people with a great history in Indonesia, now taken into the modern era by the Danone Group. So welcome, Connie, and let us talk about what you are really doing here in Indonesia, especially from the sustainability point of view.
Thank you, Alistair, for that introduction, as well as for the question. I think I would start with what Danone stands for, which is very much our vision. It's about one planet, one health, because we believe that business and social are very integrated. And what is it that we do every day has an impact on the planet and on the health of people. So in specialized nutrition, one of the things that we are really passionate about is to serve life with healthy nutrition every day. I guess one of the questions you might be interested in, we are all in the middle of this pandemic, unfortunately. And one of the things that we have been very busy and active with during last year and continue to do so is our involvement in the community. One of the things that we were able to do during the pandemic was, as Danone, we donated in Indonesia 3 million euros across in terms of PPE, medical equipment, as well as nutrition. We also partner with ministries and governments and academia. For example, just to name a couple, we worked with the Ministry of Data and Technology to introduce innovative food forms for the vulnerables during the pandemic. We also have programs that have been running for years and that we continue during the pandemic. For example, Isi Piringgu, which is about the Eat Right plate, where we work with teachers and schools to educate healthy nutrition. And one that I'm very fond of and is the work that we do with Warung Anak Sehat, which is that we go into school canteens over the years. We work with the canteen operators, with parents, as well as with teachers to help with nutritious food. And as you can imagine, during the pandemic, some of these women would be affected because schools are closed. So the canteen operators were not able to have their livelihood. During this time, we gave them mini funds. We continue to educate them on social media, how to build a little profit for their business. And with about 500 of these canteen operators, these amazing ladies, they therefore changed their business model from selling food in the school canteen to young kids to selling to their community. And I had a few discussions with them recently, and it was really pleasing to have them tell us and share with me how in their new business model they started to do all sorts of different recipes, but still, nutritious for the community, for the neighborhood, and continue to sustain a living and support the family. So these are some of the things that we do, just to quote a few over the last year. And of course, lots more that if you would like us to share.
Well, I mean, one of the questions I was going to ask you is, how are you managing to adapt to the new normal conditions? But it seems you've not just adapted, but sort of taken it to a whole new level, which is wonderful to hear. But has it been difficult to change working practices for your own team to get people working from home, or are you still trying to keep things the way they were?
Well, I think we have to first recognize that COVID is an unfortunate incident for everyone, for humanity and for the world. Having said that, for us, we have taken COVID to be a catalyst for change. One of the things that I've become as a leader of a team acutely aware of is, first of all, you really need to learn to manage a lot more by empowerment and not by supervision. And you could imagine with a big team, that's absolutely important that we're able to do that, because we're managing as many as 6,000 people in specialized nutrition in Indonesia. The second thing that has been a catalyst for change during COVID is the importance of data and digitalization. We have been doing that over a while, but during COVID, what we've realized is that we had to, one, go faster, test and experiment. For example, our healthcare reps can no longer visit the hospitals. Mm-hmm. So they have to go all virtual, 100% when COVID started. For example, our promoter girls had to do social distancing in the stores. We had to learn also to engage virtually and differently with them in a way that is relevant. And also from a brand point of view, how do we communicate? How do we meet a very different, similar but very different ways of meeting the needs of moms? So for example, in Babylike, we talked a lot about psychological stress of mothers and children during this time. With Nutrilon, we talk about the needs of nutrition for the medical society, for the healthcare professional, but also importantly for moms who wanted expert knowledge. And for SGM, we love the consumers who love to talk, who love community engagement, positivity. When things are tough, how do we stay positive? So COVID really has been a catalyst for change for us. And it's taught us a lot. And also during this time, having been in Indonesia 3 years, experiencing Indonesia, I think COVID has also taught me the resilience of the Indonesian spirit. Indonesians somehow just become stronger, when things become tougher, because together, the team just gets stronger when they're together, because they're so good and so natural at taking care of each other.
That's
together.
So true. That's so true. But there are other challenges in Indonesia which we've all experienced. And when you have such strong principles as Danone and Danone Specialized Nutrition have, is it always easier to keep those principles in focus? Resilience is one thing, but there is still a certain element of not mañana, but a little bit more relaxed attitude about things, which sometimes doesn't work. Have you found it easy to keep your principles in operating in Indonesia?
I think I would say that every culture is different, right? But everybody comes to work with the intention to do their very best. And then everyone has their own style, their own way of doing it. One of the things that we believe we believe as a leadership team is that everybody wants to be accountable. And in order to have that accountability, I need to be clear what is it I need to do. So clarity is something we hold very true. So the 2 questions we said to all our leaders when you face your team, just 2 questions you need to ask your team every day. Are you clear what you need to do today? Is there any roadblocks you need my help to unlock? How can I help you to really just 2 questions every day. And then you can empower your team. The other thing that we do believe in is psychological safety at work. And sometimes you're right, Indonesians can be a bit shy. They can respect hierarchy probably a little bit more. So how do you create that psychological safety at work for Indonesians in the Indonesian way, that they feel comfortable to ask the question, to disagree, to speak their truth, to have a point of view, and to make it, we have a term we call the durian. So, like put the stinky fish on the table. So we call it put the stinky durian on the table. So what's your durian? Then so if I give my durian, then I have permission to put whatever issues on the table. So it's almost a permission.
That's very cute. And obviously it works. You're very happy with this. I've noticed one thing which is very important. We've just gone past International Women's Day, and I see that you are a strong empowerer of, as an employer, power of women. You've got 50% of your management as women. You've got 6 months maternity leave. You've got a lot of really good things in place. But you're within an environment which is still very patriarchal. I mean, there's just no denying it. We've just done a series of articles on that. And quite a few people have powered their way through the glass ceiling. But it's not just a glass ceiling here, it's a steel ceiling in many cases. How are you coping with this whole gender equality? And is it a process, or have you accomplished it already?
I would say that it is a journey. Absolutely, there is a glass ceiling. In business as well as in many factors of life, there's probably not enough women in leadership position, and in business, not enough women in executive position. One of the things that is quite concerning is the pandemic is known in many previous cases, and I think that data today that says that the pandemic actually sets women and children back.
Yeah.
So absolutely, there are challenges. But we should also look on the bright side and look at the progress of things. So as you said, for our company, really, really pleased that we're able to have 50% of women in leadership position. Really pleased that we're able to offer 6 months maternity, 10 days paternity, as well as a number of guaranteed lactation and breastfeeding facilities at work. So I would say that it's a journey. We need to continue to encourage. We need to continue to role model. And as more women comes up to take on leadership position, in whatever way they choose to do, I think that is one step forward, and we should celebrate every step.
I couldn't agree with you more. Having been in Indonesia for 40 years, I would say the reliability and the hard work of women are something which can really power this country forward. It's just a whole different attitude, which is highly refreshing when you get women in positions of power. Look at the cabinet. The cabinet is powered by some very high skilled and highly achieved ladies.
And Indonesian ladies, absolutely. And if I may, I guess as a segue to that, right? One of the things that will absolutely more support women and children in all this is also nutrition. And that is why we believe in what we do, which is education of good nutrition during pregnancy, good nutrition in the first 3,000 days of life that has huge impact to the future potential and progress of the child and then of the nation. And just a couple of facts since we're on this topic, right? Did you know that 1 in 3 pregnant mothers in Indonesia are anemic? And anemia, if diagnosed, is very easy to treat. She would feel better, less tired, less fatigue, and overall be in a much better state to pass on good nutrition to her child as well. So, and these are areas that we could impact, and we feel privileged and honored that we could impact them.
That wonderful to hear that, because the only challenge here is a challenge which certainly has sprung up in connection with this whole child nutrition thing is the question of expense, Connie. If you are selling your products, and I know that they're good products, but people can never really afford to buy them.
Well, thank you for the question. And one of the things is that, which is why we have 3 tiers of brands. So we have Nutrilon, which is expertise, and that is for mothers who are willing to pay more for the very best. We also have Babylife, which is what we call the mass premium brands, and it touches a lot of the population. And then we have SGM, which is our high quality but highly affordable range of products. And with SGM, we are touching a lot of the community and mothers. Then I think what your question is probably about the bottom of the pyramid. What do we do there?
That's the ones we're most worried about.
I think one of the things that we do is in our outreach program. So in our outreach program, for example, one of the, as I shared with you, the work that we do with Isi Piringu, Eat Right Plate, with the government to reach out to as many schools as possible. There is also a program that we do with the Ministry of Villages and the Ministry of Rural Area, where we actually have a partnership to support stunting. And in there, we have done the work to look at how do we reduce stunting. And we've proven that in 45 cities that we're able to reduce stunting by 8.4% with 8 weeks intervention for children under 5. And then with this, we worked with the Ministry of West Java. Rizwan Kamil has been a big supporter of that. And in 13 prioritized regencies to start, we have a government intervention program together with us, where we go into villages, educate with the health system, as well as a government nutrition program to reduce stunting, with the intention that in West Java, we will have 0 stunting by 2023 as a goal. So these are some examples. There's still a lot to be done. There's a lot been done, but there's still a lot to be done.
Absolutely. What you're already doing is really quite excellent. So thank you very much. We have to ask the question, but there is no such thing as sustainability without financial sustainability. So, I mean, you are not a charity, and that's something that people have to understand. You're doing your best within a commercial institution to be able to support the community. And I think from what I've seen, you're doing more than most, and that's very commendable. And within an area which is so important for Indonesia, this whole area of stunting. So well done. Having done so much, what are the goals and ambitions for yourself personally and for the company as Indonesia tries to build back better? What are you going to do to make things better as we come out of COVID now? You've overcome the challenges that you faced during this. What's next?
Well, I think it's a question, right? If we will all come out of COVID, and what would the new normal look like? The world will, I believe, be quite different. Then when it comes to Indonesia, as it celebrates its 100th anniversary towards 2024 to realize the progress of the nation, the golden age of Indonesia, I believe Indonesia has a lot going for it. Indonesia has youth, has a lot of young people, and Indonesia, and we saw it in COVID, it's very data enabled, as in data is accessible to different reach of the population, different layers of the population. And during COVID, I think there are many people making many changes. What does it mean for our company to continue to drive One Planet, One Health, to continue to serve the first 3,000 days of life? That's our mission, and that will not change. One of the things that we really look forward in terms of what the COVID has taught us is that we want to be, and we will be, a data and digital-led company. What we've realized during this time is with your customers, with your stakeholders, with your consumers, with your healthcare professionals, how important it is to understand the 360 view of your consumers and to be able to meet their needs in a very personalized way. And through that, really change life and serve life. For me personally, it's my privilege to be leading this team in Indonesia during this time, and really to be part of this change, this change and part of this acceleration is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Fantastic. Look, it's been a very, very good interview, Connie. Thank you very much for your time on behalf of MVB and Leaders Magazine. We've been listening to the vision and mission of Connie Ang as President Director of Danone Specialized Nutrition in Indonesia, playing a particularly important part in the continued nutrition and improvement of health from an early age and in the most vulnerable groups. So thank you very much for being with us today. I wish you and your whole team success and health, of course. And we hope we'll be looking forward to seeing you and the results of your work over the next few years. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Alistair. And thank you to your audience as well. Stay safe, keep healthy, and stay happy.